play some ball.
We were playing the New York Giants in New York, and they started chanting LT, LT. Lawrence Taylor come out of that tunnel, and I went from being a player to a fan. I was in awe, because for me in college, Lawrence Taylor was the guy that I wanted to emulate. He wasn't just playing football, he was talking trash.
Yeah, stick. Yeah, you mine, baby.
And for me, that was unique.
Homeboy, we can't play that stuff over here. Y'all gonna have to go to the other side.
To me, Lawrence Taylor was the Elvis Presley of football.
Let's go, Elvis. We gotta rock him, baby. We gotta rock him. Come on, baby. You can't pussyfoot up in there. You gotta run it. You gotta run it.
He said we're gonna go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
Or sacking the Jets quarterback and be like, son,
y'all gotta do better than this.
I have a friend that told me in the East-West Shrine game when they were in college that he was screaming at everybody on the other team, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Hey, Sula, you better hope I never get back in there. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Then I'd believe it being around him.
You can't just take anybody and put them into a wrestling ring or a movie. Obviously, it's personality, you know, it's connecting with the audience. And that's the same thing in wrestling or rock and roll or anything. You have to connect with the people that are watching you. And if you can get people to believe in you and enjoy what you're doing, they'll follow you. They'll always be a fan.
There you go! Woo!
Lawrence Taylor, once in a lifetime.
Stay down, you sorry dog!
When I think of Jerry Glanville, I think, when did Chuck Norris try to become an NFL coach?
The bottom line is we know we need a win, and we know if you come up here, there's no room for any wimps. There's no room for the meek at heart up here. Here's to your playoffs, so make some noise. Hope they can boo real good.
This no-filter, cowboy boot wearing, like cowboy hat wearing, just piece of work, you know? Where you're just like, what is going on the sidelines?
Anybody nervous? Anybody scared? This is NFL, which stands for not for long when you make them calls. I'll be selling groceries. Where do you live? Where's your hometown? Dallas. Oh, now I know. You live in Dallas, that should be illegal. How the hell do I get a Dallas official in Dallas?
I could have told you.
He's from Dallas. 57, Kowakowski. I coached his dad at Detroit.
What's his dad's name?
Kowakowski.
Very, very unique guy. He would leave tickets for celebrities that had passed away, like Elvis Presley or James Dean.
Here's the ticket to James Dean, and we'll call for him.
Okay, we'll make sure he gets it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck today.
He's not dead. He's alive. To Jerry from Elvis, thanks for the tickets.
A really good football coach as far as the X's and O's, but somebody that was really into promoting Jerry Glanville.
Jerry Glanville.
Jeez, I hate when that happens. Did you see that?
A big, gotta have fun guy, get after it and compete.
You're fixing to see a major league ass kicking. I love it.
There's no doubt that he was unique, and I think just the way that he carried and the way he tried to embody his team spoke volumes of him as a coach.
Now, rookie, you gotta do everything right today, darling. But you gotta have fun doing it. Have some fun, brother. Just have some fun.
Football doesn't exist without great characters. It doesn't exist without villains.
If you don't like it, we could care less.
Take that blitz and stick it up your Jerry Glanville.
Guys coming over to jump at people like that are going to get your Just know that. I'm serious.
He's one of those guys you listen because he's entertaining, but you just have to sort out what he says.
Sometimes you forget that the guy really is a good football coach.
Right.
You need these fantastic, colorful people to brighten the screen when the game is boring.
You have another 100-yard game, 4th consecutive one. 2 years ago, you gave up the game because it just didn't interest you anymore. And today, the greatest football achievement of your life, what's it mean to you?
Well, I'm very happy, and at least for tonight, Ron's the president, but I'm the king.
Where do you start when you talk about John Riggins being a character? From his hairstyles to the way he played the game.
Once he gets rolling, brothers, you better jump on him and wait for some help, because you're going to go for a little ride.
John's the character of the characters that were a part of that football team.
Well, I'll start off by saying I'm bored, I'm broke, and I'm back.
If the band was playing, John had his own drums that he was beating on.
His afro really stood out to begin with. And John had a booty, a behind, his bottom, his butt. His butt was big, man. And one of our back players said, man, John, you know, he got some chocolate chip in him, you know. They nicknamed him Chocolate Chip because of his bounce in his butt, man. He was cool.
The very first time I laid my eyes on John Riggins, he's in a camouflaged outfit, and he had a beer can in both hands. So I looked at him and I said, well, I can tell he respects me.
I do have a drinking problem, but that's only when I'm hanging from the rafters by my knees.
Well, they love him here in Washington. Now listen to the crowd as they root for the big fullback.
I would say the most colorful character, like, if you're gonna be really pure about a guy who's eccentric, then it would be Riggo. Like, I think John Riggins is actually really cut from a different cloth.
I've been a bad boy.
There's something about guys who really move to the beat of a different drum. And I think at the top of the list is John Riggins.
Riggins, John, knucklehead.
You guys want some close-ups? Don Meredith, roll 3, Jeff and Hazel's baby boy out of Mount Vernon, Texas, riding 12 jumps to midnight. Take a deep seat, cowboy, you got a long ride.
Don Meredith was just a happy-go-lucky guy. He was so quick-witted.
You're gonna stick it. Riding my yin-yang?
Well, he had amazing charisma.
Clever old trickster, you.
He knew how to make everybody feel important.
Way to go, Turk. There we go, buddy.
He had great natural talent into whatever he did. Here's a guy that could have ran for governor, for president, and even won.
He was just the most charming character going. He's a legend on Monday Night Football.
Oh, it's good to be back. I really am happy to be here at ABC's Monday Night Football. Son of a gun.
We're doing a game, and I get some infection in my groin. So he comes in there, and that great personality of his, he says, "Hey, partner, where are your pants?" I said, I can't wear them. I got these ice bags. He said, "What are friends for?" Takes his pants off, and he and I did the whole game with our pants off.
I will never be remembered as a great passer, or a great runner, or a great signal caller. I hope to be remembered as a nice person.
I'm that dog. I know you don't want me to shine, but I'm gonna shine anyway, because I love me some me. Believe it. Who can make a play? I can. Who can make a play? I can. I told you. They hate to love me. They can say what they want to say about me. I can't be stopped.
Who doesn't love T.O.? I feel like anybody could do like 3 different touchdown performances that T.O.'s done.
Is that a pen? Yeah. He had a pen in his sock, and he pulled it out and autographed the ball.
They can hate me all y'all want to, but you can't stop me.
I feel like my dad is still walking around the house saying, "Get your popcorn ready."
Do you got your popcorn ready? You get your popcorn ready!
He could walk it like he talks it, and I think that's what makes the greatest character. And yeah, I mean, it's just T.O.
To the Dallas Cowboys logo. He looks through the opening of the roof.
Man, give me the ball. I don't want to hear nothing else. Give me the ball.
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
I remember he was suspended. There's a camera crew and reporters outside his front house. He had dumbbells. He's doing crunches, he's doing ab workouts, all in the midst of talking to all these reporters with his shirt off.
You think this is a distraction? Is this just hurting the team?
Hey, I ain't hurting the team.
It just made it exciting.
Hey, you can get this jersey right here in the pro shop. In the pro shop.
He was just a showman, and I think that's what makes the NFL so great. I think anytime players can show who they really are and bring that entertainment aspect to the game, it's great. Fans want that interaction.
And you need guys like that. Again, it creates an emotion. Either you love it, you think this guy's got a lot of balls, or he's super arrogant, I don't like this. And that's part of pro sports.
He's an entertainer. You want to sell tickets. He sells tickets, he's entertaining, and he catches the football. Like, what else can you ask for?
I appreciate y'all coming in, tuning in to the second half. So it's a Tito show right now.
Hola, me llamo Roberto. Yo soy Fiesta.
There's only one Gronk. He's so dominant. A big kid.
Having the time of his life.
He's unbelievable. He really is unbelievable.
Gronky!
He just has a good time.
He doesn't take himself too seriously.
What's up, man? Thanks, dog. Protein bars for everybody. Bar. I see one bite. Yo, that bar is giving me energy. Yeah, we're on this big screen right now. Give me a chest bump. Boom!
Touchdown 69 for Rob Gronkowski.
Hey, that's 69, baby. You get that? I'm looking fresh, baby. Yeah.
Hey, man, we ain't making Gone with the win. Stop it. Ain't paying me. Y'all think Gronk tough. Gronk just big. He ain't got no talent.
Pick it up, Rob. Go. I got Gronk in my fantasy. Go.
What's it like being around a family of Gronkowskis?
Alcohol. But what's good is, man, they weren't drunk or anything. They just drank.
Gronk is still in a fraternity. He's just that good, fun-loving dude.
Have some fun, baby.
Like, he just wants to, eat his mother's cooking and spike that football. Like, that's Gronk.
And the traditional spike for Gronk.
Go!
He was able to act the way that he acted, but never really got in trouble by the NFL or by Belichick.
Robert! Oh, you're awesome. We trying to do that out.
Belichick is one of the greatest coaches to ever live, but he has zero personality. But for some reason, Gronk was able to live in Belichick's world and survive.
We haven't stepped out. I haven't stepped out in like 8 months. I gotta step out. I'm with you, man. Yes. I'm even gonna step out. Oh, I like it.
I think that Gronk's life after football will be a good one.
I got a trivia question. It's a new year, same old question. How do you stop 85? How do you stop 85?
Hey, that's one of them like, child please.
Child please.
You know what child please mean?
Child please is a nice way of telling someone, you.
Like if somebody come to you, if coach come to you and be like, man, did he cover you? You can just look at coach and be like, man, coach, child please, because you really disrespecting me, right?
Ochocinco from now on. Anybody that writes about whatever I say today, you call me Ochocinco. Do not say Chad.
He always believes he's open.
There's 3 things in life that's certain. Death, taxes, and 85 will always be open. If they stop me today, any coverage, 2-man, 55, cover 2, man-to-man, I will give you my game check.
They always tried to get him mic'd up because he was saying the most hilarious things throughout the game.
How's 35?
Man, they all suck, man. Come on, this me. This me.
I just want to know, how's 35?
Horrible.
They say breakfast of champions, lunch, and dinner of champions. My pregame meal. Don't let them tell you McDonald's is bad for you.
You take anything for the game?
Yeah. Viagra. You all right? Yeah. Where you from? Oregon. You know what I mean? Utah. I ain't got nothing to talk. Come on, Bart, man. Golly. We having a simple conversation. Hey, I'm not the bad guy. I love you. Come on. I love you.
Telling people his routes and still, out executing them with the routes.
Hey, come on. I want you right there. All right. That's why I need you. Stay right there. Come here. Ref, let him press.
Kiss the baby.
Well, you gonna kiss the baby today.
Wanting to be a backup kicker.
Chad Ochocinco is going to kick the extra point. High snap.
Look at this.
He drills it.
There you go. I got a great celebration for you guys. Again, just wait and see the next one. Okay.
That's why people were glued to the TV every Sunday to see him score touchdowns.
And now he's running the camera. He's taking the crowd shot.
I remember most famously him coming out with the Hall of Fame jacket.
And duck myself. Put that thing on me.
Those are things that it keeps people engaged. He's in there in the end zone doing river dances and, putting like Tiger Woods. He's a guy that, when you think about the NFL and the characters and the guys that kept it light, kept it fun.
Chad Johnson got on a knee like he was proposing to Daphne over there.
He's the first guy that comes to mind.
I asked you a trivia question before the game started. I still need that answer.
I don't go to the movies too often, but one particular movie that stands out in mind was with Betty Davis. I think it was Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. I got kind of a charge when that head come rolling down the stairs. I kind of like to sit there and watch it and see things happen and maybe project those things happening on a football field and not to me.
Well, you talk to the people who played against him, they didn't think he was any fun. They didn't think he was a wonderful character. He played the game the way you're supposed to play the game. He took no prisoners. He was out to kick your butt.
Was the meanest looking guy I've ever seen.
There were a lot of guys that had a little yellow streak down their back we didn't see.
He had an aura about him that was this big, strong, muscular, evil. He wasn't evil, but tough guy.
Are you as mean as you look in the films?
Well, it depends what films you're looking at.
But he was smart. And he made a brand for himself outside of football.
Now that we played singles, we're looking for a nice, friendly game of doubles.
Dick Butkus is a better linebacker than an actor, but I will say he blazed a trail for other guys to step their toe into television and entertainment. He recognized his persona and the power of that and the power to sort of branch out after football.
You think it'll never end, and I didn't think it'd end for me, so at 30 years old, you gotta find what you love to do second best.
He's the best middle linebacker I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of them. I think Dick put the fear of God in a lot of people.
You might see the Redskins down the road. Does the thought of that scare you?
Let me tell you what I'm scared of. I'm scared of spiders, snakes, and the IRS.
If you're good and you're good to the media, you're going to become, a god. And Parcells became a god.
That's why sometimes I call you guys commies. That's why. It's that stuff right there. There it is. Subversive from within. They want you to cook the dinner. At least they ought to let you shop for some of the groceries.
Certainly Bill Parcells' character and his way to endear himself to his team, it really defined who he was and how that team took on his personality.
What the are you doing? Stand 10 yards in the backfield. Get up on the line.
I'll tell you, you get in a fight and you get trying to escape, you're going home for good, okay? Just so you know. Hey, fellas, this is what you work all off season for. This is why you lift all them weights. This is why you do all that.
He knew how to relate to the player. He was phenomenal at pushing the right buttons.
Now, Jumbo, I don't want you to get nervous, because that's not Michigan State down there. That's Philadelphia, okay, kid? Come on, Romo. You should have known pre-snap what to do there.
They'd be licking their chops. You'd be like liverwurst on rye.
Some of these guys got to get their head out of their ass around here.
I don't have to motivate this team for this game. Are you kidding? This is the Super Bowl. If you can't get ready to play this game, you ought to take a hike.
But he knew that he could get the most out of his guys.
Don't let that little series against Green Bay last week fool you.
Knew how to prepare you to be successful, whether it's Sean Payton, whether it's Bill Belichick.
Hey, don't you start giving me any Belichick. Your ass will be out.
All of it is still a Parcells influence. And that you can tell based on the success and how they go about doing things.
Yeah, but I don't like that protection, Sean.
We all had nicknames, you know, and they'd be funny, quirky nicknames. Mine was Dennis the Menace because my hair stood up. A filter that doesn't exist sometimes. This is just how it is, and if you get all bent out of shape and you take it personal, you're probably not going to do well with him.
What do you got? Anything? What do you mean? I don't need to talk about it on the plane. Give me a couple ideas.
He was funny. He didn't take any nonsense, but he was human and bigger than life. I think that's what made Parcells Parcells.
The rest of your life, man, nobody can ever tell you that you couldn't do it, because you did it.
Some folks claim I'm hard to get along with.
That's Buddy Ryan taking a swing at Kevin Gilbride.
Ryan's arrogant, they say.
You're better off doing it Buddy's way.
Ryan's a know-it-all.
I'm going to scream at the All-Pros. I'm going to scream at the rookies.
Hey, 55. Who you think's got this?
Hey, what the hell happened on that nickel that Gary let him catch that ball in there?
Buddy didn't grade you like, hey, that's a plus, that's a minus, that's a zero. If you made a mental mistake, you were a dumbass. If you made a physical mistake, if your technique wasn't very good, that was horse. You know, Buddy served in Korea and was a sergeant, and so it kind of carried over when he coached.
They played like pussycats, I think.
What about your team?
We don't play like pussycats.
My dad would never shake anybody's hand after the game. He would always shake the guys, you know, the coach's hand or whatever before the game.
How are you, buddy? Nice seeing you.
Hey, good luck and congratulations on
thanks a lot.
It was funny because he never did it.
Oh, I would have said something to Buddy, but he wouldn't stand on the field long enough. He put his big fat rear end into the dressing room.
I resent that. I've been on a diet. I lost a couple of pounds, and I thought I was looking good.
Dad loved needling the Dallas Cowboys. Trust me. And any way, shape, or form he could do that, he was going to do it.
Coach, with 2.5 minutes left, you guys were throwing the ball as opposed to trying to run the clock out.
Well, that was my idea. I was mad, and so I said, throw it.
You know, he was not going to take it easy, and I think it mostly was because of the way he treated Dallas.
Do you think this whole bounty business is now officially dead? Get the rest and forget it, it's over?
Hey, I don't know. You have to ask the people that started. I don't even know what a bounty is.
Look, we all know he's on that list because he punched his own coach. But look, that happens way more than you think, by the way.
That's Buddy Ryan taking a swing at Kevin Gilbride.
You better win or it'll be our Bud. Oh, we'll win. He's not a bad guy. I like him a lot.
My dad was going to attack you. That was my dad's philosophy.